Patch 4.4, with all the features and new bugs, it is brought to Battlefield 5. New information on Update 4.6, the next update coming to Battlefield 5, the launch of the Trello Board, the new Center for Communication, future features and bug fixing, an update on the high ping and firestorm looting issues currently plaguing the game, and some Temporyal data mining goodness on new weapons to come with Operation Underground. This is your week on the battlefield. Welcome to this episode of This Week on the Battlefield, the show where we cover news, updates, the community, and so much more, all around the Battlefield franchise. As per usual, there's much to cover, so let's just jump straight into it. This week was arguably one of the busiest weeks we saw for Battlefield 5 in a long time. Not only did we get Update 4.4, which brought us Lofoten Island and Provence on both Squad Conquest and TDM, as well as of course Mercury on Squad Conquest, some weapon balance changes to SMGs, bolt actions and MMGs, as well as the max rank increase to 500. We also of course saw Grind and Fortress return at least for a week in the Combat Under Pressure playlist. In addition to that, week 11 of Chapter 4 brings us an assignment to unlock the Panzerbüchse 39, a AT rifle similar to the Boys AT, but a little bit different and a little bit slower in fire rate. Those who love the weapons likely will enjoy this one as well. Those who are not a fan of prone, one-shot kill weapons likely aren't going to enjoy Battlefield too much for this week, possibly even next week. In a couple of additions to make beyond what we knew about the patch from the beginning of this week, we do now have an explanation for why the patch was so large. This was supposedly because of some reorganization of files, which should make slight performance improvements to the game, but also pave the way for some future changes DICE wants to be bringing to the game. And also regarding the rewards for the increased ranks that we now have available, those are currently not live, but they will be coming very soon, and they are being tracked. So if you now rank up before the rewards go live, you will still receive those all at once. In that case, once the rewards are then available, you won't be missing out on anything. Also this week, we got the new monthly survey, which was made available to us by Part Welsh. So as per usual, if you want your opinion heard and want to help make Battlefield 5 a better game, make sure to participate in it. I'll have it linked down below in the description. Also, if you want a few more details or a little bit more of an in-depth look at Update 4.4 on all the changes that it brought about, I'll have my video on the topic where I did a full rundown of the patch notes linked down below in the usual places. Then in an update on the current issues introduced by that patch plaguing the game, namely the high ping issue, the firestorm looting bug, and the mouse and gamepad conflict in the Battlefield 5 main menu, all three of those are being looked at. All three of those already supposedly have potential fixes, with specifically the high ping issue being the priority for DICE, and a fix already in testing, and likely, if the fix is successful, to be deployed via hotfix relatively soon. Also this week saw the introduction of the Trello Board, the new central resource for community broadcasts, communication, bugs and future features. We will see a voting system crop up there relatively soon. Specifically, however, community requests won't be tracked or available until October. Then of course, hopefully the game should be in a significantly more stable state and the devs can focus on introducing features or fixing up game mechanics that aren't working too well, instead of just bug hunting, as most likely they currently are doing. Now the Trello Board's interface may take a little bit of getting used to, but other than that I think it's a pretty good introduction and should hopefully improve once more not only the communication between the dev team and the community us, but also our suggestions and our input to the dev team themselves. Then in what to expect next week. Most definitely it will be a quieter week compared to this one, with only one new piece of content being available, specifically the Breda PG Burst Assault Rifle, which will be unlockable via the week 12 assignment for Chapter 4 beginning next week. And of course, we will also be getting Lofoten Island on Provence on a dedicated Squad Conquest playlist, so that it's a little bit easier to experience those new maps. In our always popular soon TM category of news, we have some additional information on Update 4.6. Previously, of course, we were told that Operation Underground and even possibly Al Sudan, as well as some updates to the sliding mechanics and MMG meta, would be coming for Update 4.6. And now, in addition to that, we also know that there should be some quality of life improvements coming related to communication of both health and ammo resources, with the 3D and minimap icons for those respective crates being available and being introduced, as well as some bug fixes coming for the spotting mechanics currently not working as intended. Then in temporal data mining goodness, this week saw, of course, with the introduction of the update 4.4, a whole host of new information made available. In something to look forward to, according to Temporyal at least, there is supposedly 4 weekly challenges between Chapter 4 or Chapter 5, that is to say, the point in time where we are supposedly to receive Operation Underground, with only 3 so far having confirmed rewards, specifically the Jungle Carbine, a further bolt-action carbine for the medic, the Dutch Madsen or the Madsen Mini, an LMG for the support class of course, and the Flieger Faust, a man-portable anti-aircraft launcher. Also in the files discovered by Temporyal was the Halloween Epic weapon set, a Japanese-inspired weapon set, some information and first details on private games, confirming that DICE is actually working on this and does intend, as announced, to actually introduce it to the game, and tied up, sadly still with the now no longer being developed 5v5 mode, the Soviet LAD LMG, a heavy but nevertheless still LMG type weapon that, of course, at this point we don't know if it will at all ever come, let alone when it will come, given not only that this is data mined, but also that it is part of a content batch that no longer is set to come to Battlefield 5. As per usual, if you want more details, head over to Temporyal's Reddit post, I'll have it linked down below in the description, and be aware to take it all with a pretty big grain of salt, because this is data mined, and if it isn't confirmed officially by DICE, it may very well never be coming at all to Battlefield 5. Then in community news, this week was all about update 4.4, and generally it was a satisfied, happy community, with most of you, when I asked you what you thought of the update, being somewhat optimistic for the future of Battlefield 5, saying that this is the first step in the right direction, but more definitely had to follow. But with less and less bugs being the hindrance to Battlefield 5, of course, more and more of the design changes that trouble and annoy people are coming up for discussion once more. These include things like the camping and MMG meta, a central topic of discussion this week in the community, given that we just got a further AT rifle, specifically of course the Panzerbuchse 39, but also long-standing issues such as the introduction of the distance haze and the desaturation versus the beta build of the game to improve visibility, with some arguing it's no longer necessary given some of the contrast and soldier outline and shading that was introduced to improve visibility a number of patches back, but also issues such as missing vehicle customization, some of which was even available in the alpha build of the game, and the main menu needing some changes to the backgrounds to make it a little bit nicer, a little bit more relevant to updated content, and also of course the removal of that relatively unpopular blue haze, both in the main menu and over on maps such as Devastation. Hopefully some of these features and requests, relatively popular amongst the community, can be introduced sometime soon, specifically with the ability to suggest them directly to DICE and vote on them on the Trello board coming in October. Then in our only in Battlefield moments, we start this week's selection of clips off with Mac McMillan going for a troll kill on an AT rifle camper over on Rotterdam. Next up we have a couple of sniper clips, the first Oni Blitz taking out an enemy by blowing up their own dynamite, the second is by Romby getting a quad collat over on Grind now that it is finally returned to Battlefield 5. And lastly then, we have Buffo Ref going for plane snipes with his trusty stag hound, but not only getting one, actually managing to pull off two. But with that, we're coming to the end of this week's episode. If you enjoyed the show, find it interesting or entertaining, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share, and of course hit me up with your feedback, suggestions, and opinions down below in the comments or over on Twitter. With all that being said, however, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you in the next Battlefield 5 video.